Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News for Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. Stand up for your country. Injustice can erode and sometimes collapse an entire nation. So we've seen that throughout history. China, Russia, Cuba, Venezuela, North Korea, Iran, on and on and on and on. These are totalitarian societies. You as an individual have no rights. And under that banner, there is injustice. You don't get due process. If the government says you're going to get executed, you're going to get executed. Now, in America, injustice is on the rise, not because of a political party or an ideology. It is because there is a strain in our legal system that does not want to punish criminals. It is simple as that. And New York City has elected a man to be mayor who openly says he doesn't want to put people in prison, even violent people. He wants an intervention. He wants to provide them and persuade them not to do the evil they are doing. In the meantime, tens of thousands of people are getting hurt in this country. And now a story in Tennessee illuminates that in an incredible way. That's the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. A guy named Mohammed's from Somalia, 39 years old. There he is, okay? He's arrested 15 times, charged 21 times. One conviction, public indecency. But the guy's a miscreant. Everybody knows him. He's a bad guy. All right? So, this month, last August, this month he was exposed. 9:30 p.m., August 14th, 2025. Police say that Mohammed raped a 34-year-old drug-addicted woman named Megan Mayo. He did that on the steps of the Nashville Life Church in Nashville. The woman was so assaulted, she had to go to the hospital, where she died. Now, the autopsy says it was an overdose, and the police say they have surveillance video of Mohammed actually raping the woman as the woman tries to push him away. So she is dead. Okay? Now, Mohammed has finally been charged. Remember, 15 arrests prior. Okay? So now he's in deep trouble. So enter a congressman who is absolutely outraged about this. All right? And his name is Andy Ogles, Republican congressman. He puts the faces of the 6 judges who allowed Mohammed out, dismissed his prior cases. 6 dismissed the cases on a variety of things. Okay? So Ogles puts their faces up on social media. And right away, all hell breaks loose in Tennessee that Ogles wants these judges hurt, that evil people might try to track them down and do harm to them. Here's what Ogles says. Go.
I want to ask the judges, they want extra protection. Where were they? Where was this woman's protection when she was being raped to death on the steps of a church? You can't make this crap up. And I'm sorry that they're offended and scared, but you know what? I'm guessing she was scared too.
Okay, so now there's a huge controversy. And in a joint statement, the judges said this, quote, Ogle's choice to employ rhetoric invoking violence, even for political grandstanding, carries real and dangerous consequences. Our foremost responsibility is to ensure that courthouse employees and every member of the public entering the Birch building are safe and can access the justice system without fear of becoming casualties in what Mr. Ogles has described as a war on elected officials. Anyone interpreting his inflammatory remarks as a call to action would be gravely mistaken, unquote. Okay, I understand that point of view, but number one, that's not your primary responsibility, judges in Nashville, Tennessee. Your primary responsibility is to protect the public. And obviously, you have not done that. You haven't done it. You let a guy with a long, long rap sheet out, dismissed his case time after time after time, and now he kills a woman. That's on you. Sorry. It's on you. So, nobody would know that unless Congressman Ogles did what he did. The court of public opinion. Now, these judges are elected. They're elected. Is that what you want in Tennessee? I'm talking to the voters now. Do you want that? Because the press isn't going to report it. They'll cover for these judges. This isn't just going on in your state. It's going on everywhere. Dozens and dozens of arrests and convictions, and they let them out with no bail in New York. Won't even prosecute in Chicago, LA, San Francisco, and they're walking around hurting people. They're not caught every time they hurt somebody. The only reason this guy Muhammad was caught was because the fire department was driving by and saw this atrocity, stopped the truck, got out, and detained him until the cops came. That's the only reason. So, let's sum this up. Anybody who would hurt a judge for no matter what is evil. You don't do that. And the state of Tennessee needs to protect these judges. That's number one. But the judges have no beef. You make these rulings, you own them. And Ogles is a hero, in my opinion, because he's standing up against this injustice. And it's gone on far too long. And all of the judges are Democrats. Most of them progressives. All of them. The philosophy is, you're not going to punish these people. You're going to let them go. And that's the memo. Let's face it, the U.S. economy is under stress. National debt rising, trade war shaking the markets. And meanwhile, China is dumping the dollar and stockpiling gold. That's why I protected my savings with physical gold and silver through the only dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. And you can do this. Get precious metals delivered to your door or place in a tax-advantaged gold IRA. They'll even help you roll over your existing IRA or 401k, tax and penalty-free. With billions in precious metals delivered, thousands of five-star reviews, and an A+ from the Better Business Bureau, you can trust American Hartford Gold as I do. Please call 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. Again, that's 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. All right, Trump administration also put out a national security strategy where it severely criticized our European allies. It said they're weak, they can't defend themselves, they're overrun by insane immigration policies, and the collective EU has wreaked havoc with individual countries. Okay, that is the Trump administration's national security report. Here's what the president said.
So there's some financial assistance there?
He's really gotten right is the immigration, because he allows nobody in his country. And Poland has done a very good job in that respect, too. But most European nations, they're decaying. They're decaying.
You can imagine some leaders in Europe are a little freaked out by what your posture is, and European.
No, they should be freaked out by what they're doing to their countries. They're destroying their countries.
A lot of this is about immigration, and some of it's about defense, not paying enough money to defend themselves. Joining us now from Washington is Dr. Celeste Wallander. She's a former Assistant Secretary of Defense for International Security under President Biden. She now works for the University of Pennsylvania. All right, Doctor, is this security report about Europe accurate? Do you agree with it?
I agree with parts of it. For example, the National Security Strategy points out that the way to secure American global interests, global prosperity and defense is to rely upon a rich network of allies and partners in strategic areas of the world, Europe and Asia. And the report notes that actually Europe enjoys a predominance of hard power over Russia and is very capable against Russian threats. What is more problematic is the notion that therefore the United States should disentangle itself from those strong and reliable allies when the record shows that the United States is more secure when we keep conflicts and adversaries far from our physical homeland borders, and when we actively compete for influence with important and prosperous regions of the world, like Europe and like in Asia, our partners and allies, South Korea and Japan.
Well, it seems to be happening in Asia.
A lot of the analysis...
Yeah, it seems to be happening in Asia, but they don't have an immigration problem over there, and that's what's sticking in President Trump's craw here. But I'm going to dissent a little bit from your analysis. I don't think NATO is very strong at this point. Now, the president mentioned Orban in Hungary. Hungary doesn't allow migrants in, as you know, very strict. Poland also fairly strict about that. But many of the countries like Italy, Spain, Scandinavian countries have passed new laws limiting immigration. Have basically, France, another good example, have created a lot of problems for themselves, and they're diverted trying to keep control over rampant illegal immigration, mostly from the Middle East and North Africa, into their societies, which is causing all kinds of political turbulence. That's got to weaken those countries. Am I wrong?
Those countries have themselves identified challenges from their immigration policies, and European countries have sought to reset their policies. But some of the countries you mentioned, Italy and Spain, for example, have substantial growth. They're some of the largest economies in Europe. And in fact, it is the case that in terms of their internal politics, the leaderships have been held accountable for concerns that their populations had
sometimes,
for migration
not Spain,
policies.
though. Not Spain. Spain is the worst. They don't even contribute hardly anything to NATO, and they're the country that contributes least. But what I'm trying to get across is that I don't believe that Europe could stand up to Putin on its own. That it absolutely has to have American backing, American money, American weaponry, American will. And I think Trump resents that.
Well, I think that's right. You're exactly right that it is not the case that Europe alone could defeat a Russian conventional attack, let alone a nuclear war, because Europe does not have
of course not.
the kind of nuclear arsenal that the United States does. So I agree with you. And more to the point, Bill, Russia agrees with you. The analysis of the Kremlin in Russian military doctrine is that in a war in Europe, they would win a quick war. They would win a fast war because Europe does not have enough capability to sustain a long war. That's what they would count on if they attack Europe. But if you put the United States in the mix as a NATO ally, Russia is completely deterred. You see that every day. If Russia wants to stop the West from helping Ukraine, all it has to do is invade Europe. But Putin has been deterred from invading Europe because he knows that because of NATO and because of the United States, a war against NATO would be a long war. We have the global reach.
And they lose.
We have the logistics.
And Putin would lose that war.
He would absolutely lose that war.
So I got a final question for you. President Trump, as you know, and individuals can make up their mind on this, has said maybe 5 million times that if he were president, Putin never would have invaded Ukraine. Now, you can't say yes or no, but that's the president's posture. And believe me, he believes it. When Putin did go into Ukraine, you were with the Biden administration in the foreign policy area. What was the thinking there in the White House? Was there a strategy to confront Putin? Did you think he was going to lose? What were you guys thinking back then?
So Putin wanted that war to be rhetorically a war of Russia against the United States, to slap us down for our strong alliances in Europe. But rhetorically is not reality. And Putin was counting on the United States and Europe to do what it had done years before, which was not to aid Ukraine. The first time Russia invaded in 2014.
Yeah, Crimea.
So he was counting on having that quick war, only the quick war against Ukraine, and we would be paralyzed. But instead, what we did from day one was surge military capabilities and defense and training to Ukraine, and the Ukrainian military, against all odds and expectations, including Putin's expectations, fought off those initial months of the attack. It was Ukrainian courage and bravery, but it was Western security assistance, advice, and training that defeated Putin's war plan in 2022.
Why didn't President Biden engage Putin more directly?
During the summer of 2021, he sat down with Putin in Geneva and laid out what would be required for a resolution of the disagreement between Russia and Ukraine over territory. But it was American principles to support Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity, as Russia had recognized under international law. And that's not what Putin wanted. Putin demanded a revision of borders in Europe.
But did you guys think that Putin was going to get tired of this? Because Trump underestimated Putin in the sense that he thought he could, convince Putin to stop. But if you read my book, Confronting Evil, and I had to actually hand it to the president on 9/11, you got to read this chapter because Putin's got a lot worse than when Trump was in the office the first time around. But did you guys in the Biden administration think that Putin was going to stop at any point, or was this going to go on forever?
But we didn't think Putin was going to stop. We thought he had to be stopped. And that was first and foremost helping the Ukrainians fight to defend their own country.
But just weapons and money? Was there any other strategy to stop them?
Great question. Imposing significant sanctions on the Russian economy and restricting Russian access to defense technology. We closed the door on dual-use capabilities.
But it didn't work, though. And I'm not criticizing. It's just a historical fact that Putin, what you guys did. But to be fair, what Trump has done in the last year hasn't worked either. And now, I'm a hawk on this. I think I'd stop all flights in and out of Moscow. I wouldn't let any Russians land in any Western European or American-held territory at all. Japan will go along with that, and so would Australia. You got to up it. Last word.
So the plan to restrict Russia fundamentally didn't work because China and Iran came to Russia's rescue.
Yeah, they bought their oil.
China in banking and technology. So
right.
Putin got a rescue deal from China, and now the challenge is Putin is indebted to Xi, and you've got an axis of upheaval of Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea.
Well,
and
hopefully Trump can undermine
at the core
that.
Of national security.
I think China will turn on Putin if the trade deal is to their advantage. Very good discussion, Doctor. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. We appreciate it. American homeowners, the FBI has been warning all of us about a type of real estate fraud called title theft. The target, your equity. With just a forged signature, ownership can be transferred out of your name, and without protection in place, you are facing an emotional and financial nightmare. That's why I partner up with Home Title Lock. You can find out today if you are already a victim and protect yourself. Use promo code BILL at HomeTitleLock.com to get a free title history report plus a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring, urgent alerts, and if you are a victim of fraud, they will spend up to $1 million to fix it. Don't be a victim. Protect your equity today. That's HomeTitleLock.com, promo code BILL, or use the link below. That's HomeTitleLock.com, promo code BILL. The cost of everything still rising, and many of us are relying on credit cards to cover essentials. If that debt is piling up, you're not alone. Americans now owe more than $1 trillion in credit card debt. You may have thought about calling American Financing, but hesitated because you don't want to lose your low mortgage rate. Well, good news, they created the Smart Equity Loan. It lets you tap into your home's equity without touching your current mortgage. Unlike a home equity line of credit, this loan has a fixed interest rate and one predictable monthly payment. No upfront or hidden fees. It only takes 10 minutes to get started, so please call 888-462-9557 or visit americanfinancing.net/bill. Okay, let's talk to another foreign policy guy right now. His name is Robert Sherman. You may have seen him on NewsNation, okay? So Sherman has a new book out, and I blurbed the book. That means I said good things about it, called Lessons from the Front, a rookie war correspondent in Ukraine and Israel, okay? And he joins us now from Ceiba, Puerto Rico. I assume you're getting ready for the invasion of Venezuela down there. Is that what you're doing down there?
Yeah, we're monitoring it, Bill. We're keeping a close eye on it. There's a lot of activity here. A lot of F-35, C-17s taking off and landing. So it's a very fluid and dynamic environment here for sure.
Okay. So I want to talk to you not about macro foreign policy. We just did that with the doctor. I want to talk to you about being a correspondent in the field. So as you know, I was a correspondent overseas for a time as well. But I was 33 years old when I went down to El Salvador, and then I went subsequently after that to Buenos Aires in the Falklands War. And it was harrowing. You're 25 and you get thrown into Ukraine. Were you scared?
I didn't even know to be scared, Bill. I mean, I entered that thinking that I had a good understanding of the world. I was pretty fresh out of college, did well in school, so I thought that I understood things. Then one day on the ground in Ukraine, the first time that you saw the first Ukrainian refugees leaving, the first time we got buzzed by jets, the first time we were detained and accused of being spies, you grow up pretty quickly in that. And those are the main things that I wrote about in this book here. You know, all those experiences about how it changes you and changes the way that you perceive the world. And I have to tell you that, I mean, now I'm just so much more curious. I have a whole appreciation for the complexity of the world. Most of all, I am so proud to be an American. I had no idea how good we had it.
And so you learned, but were you frightened at any time?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, those first couple of days when the war is its most dangerous and there are missiles flying all over the place and you're guilty until proven innocent, it's a very scary time.
Yeah, when you say that, it means you got no protection, that the Ukrainians could grab you, the Russians could grab you, anybody partisan could grab you. All right, let's talk logistics. So you get sent over there by NewsNation. Young guy trying to make a name for himself. You get into Poland, that's easy. And then you drive into Ukraine, right? Where'd you get the vehicle? I mean, what kind of car did you have? How'd you do that?
Yeah, I mean, so we were told that we were getting a vehicle and I envisioned, a Humvee or something of the kind. Sure enough, it's a blue Honda Odyssey that rolls up and it's supposed to have, a minivan. It's supposed to have press indicators on the side of it. We didn't have those. So I'm watching our security guy writing press in duct tape on the side of this thing. It was not how I expected it to go. You learn pretty quick on the job.
I had one of those in El Salvador, but we rented it. Is that what you did? Is there a rent-a-car in Ukraine where you can get one of these things?
We borrowed it under a "you break it, you buy it" pretense. Let's just put it
Borrowed
that
it
way.
from whom, though? From whom?
Yeah, we borrowed it from a video production company that gave it to us. But they told us if the thing got hit by Russia, we were on the hook for it.
Okay. Now, where do you eat? So you go in, and it's not like you're going to Taco Bell. I mean, you're in places that don't have a lot of facilities. You're zipping around. You're trying not to get blown up. So what do you do for food?
It's whatever you can find. I mean, sometimes a gas station hot dog is as good as it gets. If they have coffee, that is at a premium, especially in wartime Ukraine in the middle of the wintertime. I mean, for the most part, there are a lot of nights in which, we were eating candy bars and bomb shelters every night. I mean, it was not the 3-course meals. Yeah,
No,
I mean, it was
it's
not
hard
the
to
3
get
square
that.
meals a day. Yeah.
And hotels, where I was in Morazan, and you can look that up on a map, no hotels. I mean, no place to stay. Where did you guys stay?
We ended up finding an apartment that someone was willing to rent to us. And it's funny because the first day that we were there, we got reported. And we woke up our first morning in Ukraine to 3 Ukrainian soldiers entering this apartment that we rented, guns drawn, because we were clearly outsiders there. So, I mean, everything was upside down.
And
I
you
mean,
were in Kyiv with this apartment in Kyiv?
This was in Ivano-Frankivsk in Western Ukraine, so a smaller city.
Okay, but it was near where the action was, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So with your crew, you got a cameraman, you got an interpreter, right?
Yeah, we had an interpreter who was
gotta
there,
have those,
moves around.
right?
Yep.
I had an interpreter, I had a cameraman, I had a sound man, I had a 2-man crew. So there were 4 when we went anywhere. Were there 4 when you went?
It was 2 of us. It was me and a producer. We had a cameraman, and we had our fixer who was with, and we had security, so it was 5.
All
it was
right,
5
so
people.
the fixer would tell you, look, this is where you can go, is where you can't go. They'd interpret and things like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and you paid this guy on a per diem, right? I handed my guys. I paid him absolutely. That's what I did. I had a stack of hundreds, and I'm paying Pedro, every day. All right, then you go because your beat is the world. I mean, Robert Sherman's been everywhere. You go to the Middle East. You go to Israel, which is much more under control because you got the Israeli forces there. They know you're American. They know you're credentialed, but it's still dangerous as hell because anything could happen at any time, right?
Right, absolutely. I mean, especially in the early days in which the situation is moving so fluidly. I mean, it's a constantly dangerous environment. I mean, both of those, you have no idea what you're waking up to. That's the everyday fear that people are dealing with. They have no idea if this is their last day, what is coming, what missiles are coming, what weaponry.
Okay, but that's an easier situation in which to report than Ukraine. Ukraine's a nightmare. I mean, just logistically to get around, to know where the stuff is happening and all of that. But Israel, there's a bunch of press there. It's a little more structured. And you got a bed every night and you got food, right?
Right, exactly. Bill, I apologize. We're getting paged for some breaking news right now that I'm actually going to have to run to now. I'm very sorry, but
it's okay,
they're calling
that's
us
no
right
problem.
now.
Let me give your book a plug. Lessons from the Front, Robert Sherman. I think it's a great Christmas gift. You go, Robert. You're doing a good job
Bill.
out there.
Appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. To view full episodes of the No Spin News anytime, sign up to become a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member today.